I knew what I wanted to say, my head was in it here. All right, I'd like to bring this meeting to order tonight. I'd like to have everybody join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight. We don't usually have much of a crowd for our water board, and it's nice to see some people. I hope we'll speak up loud enough so everybody can hear us and everything. I'll try to raise my voice. I hope everybody will be patient. We have some things going on in the big room. They said they try to keep it down while we're having our meeting, and I know the building is being used a lot, so I appreciate everybody's patience. All right, next on the agenda, I'd like to have a roll call.
Ron Alberico.
I'm here.
Barb Boyce. Here. Barbara Delaney. Here. Steve Morelli.
Here.
13 Construction.
Here.
And Christopher J. Hall. Here.
All right. Next on the agenda is the minutes from the last meeting. I do need a motion to approve the minutes of last month's meeting.
Where are those minutes posted?
I'm sorry?
Where are the minutes posted?
They're not posted. They haven't been approved yet.
And for the
Excuse me, we're holding a meeting here. The audience is here. I really need to have the meeting orderly, and I can't have you interrupting me. All right? I will give you time to speak. Thank you. I need an approval of the minutes.
I'll make the motion.
I got a motion by Barbara Delaney.
I'll second it.
Second by Barbara Boyce. Any questions in the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you very much. You have the bills of $50,676.07 this month.
I'll make the motion to pay the bills.
I got a motion by Barbara Boyce to pay the bills.
Second.
Second by Barbara Delaney. Any questions of the bills tonight? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Ron Alberico.
Yes.
Barb Boyce.
Yes.
Barb Delaney.
Yes.
Steve Morelli.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you very much. Any citizens here wishing to address the water board?
Yes.
All right, please come up and state your name.
Good evening, my name is Delinda Heron. I'm the acting president of the Fairmont Community Partnership Group. I have some questions for the board. Can you tell me who Township Lockport Utility Board is? Who makes up that board? Is it the people sitting here?
This board here right now.
Okay, so it's the same board that's over the township?
Mhm.
Okay. Also, I'd like to know the status of the ordinance that you are working on so that we can create a new board.
Right now, we have the first draft. I was hoping the lawyer would be here to discuss it with us. He's not here.
Okay, can you tell me what model are you using for this board? What I'm asking, are you basing this board on any other township's water?
You know what, I'll be honest with you. You have the right to come up and talk. This isn't a question answer. I can't answer questions that I'm not ready or, I'm not prepared to answer. You're welcome to make a statement for 3 or 4 minutes. And then, and I will try to get you those, answers as soon as I can.
Ron, I could just say that, the attorneys are the ones who are drawing up the ordinance,
Okay.
and whether they're basing it on other townships or other water boards, hopefully that's what they're using as guidelines. But like he said, the attorneys are working on that right now, and we've got the first draft in front of us, and we're gonna do that,
Okay, and the reason I'm raising that question is because I understand from this Illinois law, the 60 ILCS here, 205-100, that this board should not consist of elected officials.
Right.
And that they should appoint 5 citizens to sit on this board.
That's correct.
And we told you last month that we had 3 individuals from Fairmont that wanted to sit on the board.
Well, and I appreciate that. The fact of the matter is, I will have all the names brought to my, I will ask for everybody to bring their resumes in, and I'll look at them. But the fact of the matter is, the supervisor picks the board with the approval of this board.
Understood, but who could be better for the board than the people paying their bill?
I'm not disagreeing with you, and I probably will pick Fairmont community people, the majority, to be on that board. But I'm not gonna make any promises until I have the ordinance and I have the people and I look at all the resumes.
Do you have an estimated date of when you think all those
I
things
do
might
not.
happen, Ron?
No, I do not. Again, we've been following this ordinance from the 1970s. The township put in place back in 1975, I think, or 4, don't quote me on the date. We've been following that ordinance up until now. Now it's been, with enough people say that they don't want us to represent the water board, we are going to appoint a new board. Took a long time to put that and get all the rules and regulations. I'm not going to haphazardly do this without all my research from the lawyers, make sure my I's are dotted, my T's are crossed, my commas are in place, because this has been a contention with this township for 15 years, and I want it to stop. So I want to do it right. I'm not going to do it haphazardly and still have the same arguments 5 years down the road.
Will the people that you elect to the committee have a say in writing the bylaws?
No, the lawyers and we have to put that together. That's our job. That's what we were elected to do.
Excuse me, Delinda, if I could just, I want to tell you a couple things that are in this ordinance. Now, just remember, this is just a draft. Unfortunately, the attorney who did draft this isn't here. But a couple things that are in here that I know everyone is concerned about. It says right here, under the membership, under section 2, that no person holding an elective or appointed public office shall be eligible for appointment to the utility board. So that addresses all the concerns that we've had all this time. And then secondly, no person who has held an elective office or an appointed public office shall be eligible for appointment to the utility board for 1 year after expiration of his or her term. So if somebody did hold an elected position at one time, they still cannot be on this board till after 1 year. So, I mean, the attorney is doing what we are asking. Again, unfortunately, they're not here. So the concerns that we've all had are being addressed. Okay, but again, this is just a draft, so.
And the next question, if I may, Ron, we'd like to know, the lawsuit was settled back in February of 2016. It'll be 2 years in February of 18. There was no transparency in terms of coming to Fairmont and telling the residents of Fairmont that you were gonna repay a lawsuit that you had nothing to do with. I mean, you could have sent a letter out, you could have included it in the water bill.
I guess I don't really understand.
Where is the authority for the township to levy that cost strictly upon the Fairmont residents? That's the question.
I'm sorry, you don't have the floor.
Okay.
Again, I still want this orderly.
Okay.
I've given everybody a few minutes to talk.
That's
We
the
already
question
passed
she's asking.
your time, but the fact of the matter is, the way I understand it, and the lawyer's not here, and I wish he would be here to answer the questions. That's why I wanted him here tonight. The fact of the matter is, the water board got sued. And the water board had the judgment made against it. The government, the judges said that the township is also responsible for that because they have to pay the money. It was the water board that got sued. It was an issue between the water company that was running the water system and the supervisor at the time. They didn't see eye to eye. I don't know, I'm not gonna get into all those because it was way before I was there. But there was a lawsuit, and 15 years down the road, the judgment came that we lost it, and the township was held responsible.
My question is, how did you all determine that Fairmont should be repaying this lawsuit?
I didn't say Fairmont was, I said the water district has to pay for the lawsuit because the lawsuit was against the water board, the water district.
All the money is coming from the revenue from our water bills,
That's
correct?
because the lawsuit was against the water district. It wasn't against the township.
It was between Township Lockport Utility Board and Aqua Management.
Right. The utility board. It was a lawsuit against the water system. That's water system lost, the water system has to pay the bill. Why should the taxpayers from other areas that don't get water have to pay the bill? They had nothing to do with it.
Again, why in almost 2 years haven't you come to us and made it transparent that this is what happened and this is what you'll be doing for the next 8.5 years? Is
I
repaying
don't know
$5,000
if
monthly.
I was never advised that I had to announce. We did it in open meetings.
I mean, you know that for the most part, Fairmont is not gonna be in these meetings. We haven't been represented. So you come to Silver and Gold, that's a perfect opportunity to talk with people. You've been to some of our meetings. Why not put out a memo or something letting the residents know that this lawsuit was lost and for the next 8.5 years, you will be repaying this lawsuit?
Well, I don't know why I didn't tell you. I didn't think to tell you. I didn't think it was at that point I needed to tell.
Ron, I was just gonna say something. I don't know if I should bring it up now or if I bring it up in new business. And it's basically based on what you're saying now about the repayment. And I've been thinking about, you know, how it all went down, how the courts ruled against us, and how the court ruled against the township to make the payment, because they're one of the same. And I know what Linda's saying here, that, you know, the Fairmont community is the one that is gonna end up paying it back if we keep going on this monthly payment plan. I was gonna discuss it with the board, and like I said, I don't know if it's something to bring up now, but I was knocking around eliminating that debt.
Forgiving it?
Yeah. And since the township and the water board are one and the same according to the courts, then maybe the water board should not have to pay that back. I mean, it's so confusing because of the way things were drawn up years ago, back in the early 70s, and how things have been run for years and years and years. And then this lawsuit happens in 2000, which 17 years ago. You know, why it took so long to be determined, and the township, my understanding was initially the water board was the plaintiff in that case, you know, going after the company for.
That's the way I understood
Right,
it.
so how things ended up the way they did, where we ended up not only losing the case, but being assessed this, you know, settlement. Like I said, it's confusing because none of us were here at that time throughout this whole court proceedings, and then, you know, boom, we're here when this judgment comes down and when this settlement has to be made. So we're thinking right off the bat, you know, it's against the water board, so the water board has to pay it back. But like I said, now there's other things coming into play. The fact that the court also ruled that the township government and the water board were one of the same. So I think at some point maybe we should reconsider relieving this debt and just move forward. I mean, the $5,000 that's being paid monthly to pay off this debt, you know, could be going towards improvements, you know, system improvements down there, which we know we're getting to a point now where, you know, we've got engineering hired to possibly start working on some new pipes. Our lift stations, you know, are run on generators, on diesel fuel. They should be run on gas, you know. Everything needs updating now because it's an older system. And I'm just thinking that that money that's going for this payment for this debt could be used for better purposes. And it's something we need to discuss here. And I'm just bringing it now just to present it. And, you know, it's not nothing that we could probably do tonight, but, you know, at some point, I think, you know, we're gonna discuss it and hopefully come to some kind of, agreement, and, but it would have to be, you know, agreed upon throughout the whole board.
Well, I know Ron said last month that we need $10 million worth of improvements in Fairmont.
Well, I didn't say 10 million, I don't know the exact price tag on it yet, we're still investigating that. But there is a multi-million-dollar improvement study that we're trying to do, because there's things that are old. You know, those pipes were put back in the early 70s, and they're starting to break down. And I think we have to be proactive and try to make some improvements on the whole system. It's gonna cost us money, we're gonna have to borrow money to do that, because the water system, you know, doesn't have the funding for it.
I think if you come to people and say, we're gonna increase your water bill $10 per month to improve your system and give you some water you can drink. I haven't drank the water in Fairmont in 25 years, I've been buying bottled water. People would probably go along with
Well,
that.
that's exactly what we're talking
But
about.
you can't get people to go along with, we lost the lawsuit and we gotta pay it off.
Well, that lawsuit is not being paid back with the water bills being raised.
No, I
No raise,
understand
you
you
know.
didn't raise it, but you're using the revenue that's generated.
But you
from the
understand
water
why,
bill.
though. What the thinking was that it's the water system that got sued, so the water system has to pay the bill.
No, I don't understand why.
Well, that's kind of, I think that's kind of being blindsided. I mean, why, if this
The
book got,
township
if,
sued
wait a
Alpha
minute,
Management.
if this is the thing that got sued, then this is the thing that has to pay the lawsuit. It's like my brother and myself, if I get sued and I can't afford it, why should my brother have to pay the bill?
Ron, the lawsuit was
That is
brought
the-
by the township against Alpha.
The
The
township.
township.
The township water utilities.
The
Not a township board.
Utility board sued
Excuse me, let's
Alpha.
let's keep everything in order here. I want to keep an orderly meeting, all right? And this isn't going to turn, I'm not going to allow this to turn into question
No, no, I'm
debate.
fine. Let's
I'm
talk.
giving you your time, all right, and then we're going to move on, okay?
Can you tell me what the estimated annual revenue is from the, if you're able to give $60,000 a year toward the lawsuit? What's the annual revenue that's generated by
I
that
can
water
get you
bill?
those numbers.
You can't give me those numbers, okay. I'd like to present you with a letter of recommendations of those individuals that we'd like to have considered.
I will take them, but it's way early. We haven't gotten the ordinance together.
Well, the earlier you get it, the more serious you know we are about being on it, okay? Thank you. And thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Any other citizens wishing to address the board? Yes, ma'am. Please come up, state your name for the record.
Dan
Oh,
Janetta.
I'm sorry, yeah, you're right.
Y'all want me to come up there?
No, no, no.
Dan Janetta Harris, Fairmont resident for over 26 years. My question is, what is the criteria for a person to be on the committee?
The water board?
Correct.
You haven't even drawn it up yet,
Okay, it hasn't been drawn up, so,
other than you can't be an elected official.
correct. You stated a few minutes ago that you were looking for resumes. What would the resume, if you don't have a criteria, how can you know what to put on a resume for that type of position?
Well, like I said earlier, you know, we do have a draft from the attorney. Now, the way the draft reads, it's gonna be a 5-member board. It does say that you have to be a resident of the community for at least 2 years, you know, which, and then it goes into the no holding, an elected office. And that you have to be a voter, a registered voter of the township. So other than that, I mean, you know, and like you said, this is just a draft, and it would be great if the attorney was here, because we could talk about if somebody has to be a certain age or something like that.
Right.
But like you said, unfortunately, we just got to go by the draft right now that we have in front of us. And, you know, without him being here, it's tough for us to answer some of these questions. Like I said, would the community like to have an age, you know, a certain age, over the age, and, you know, if you gotta be a registered voter, obviously you gotta be 18. So, you know, you can base some of it on that. Being a resident of the community, you know, for at least 2 years, you know, and stuff like
Of the
that.
township.
Or the township. So, other than that, we don't have more than that in front of us.
Well, okay, will that be made public to the community? Because
The ordinance, yeah.
Correct,
after
the
we
ordinance
pass
will be
it,
made
absolutely.
public to the community. After you guys, it's passed, you guys pass and everything, the ordinance will be made public to the community. So in order for a resume to be done, you know, one will need to know what experience needs to be required for this entity.
I would assume that once the ordinance is passed, again, this is just a draft, that, again, the attorney would probably work with the supervisor with what criteria a person would need. I mean, I myself would be very more comfortable with somebody at least having a background check to know what type of experience they have, do a little bit of a background on them to make sure they're not, you know, have anything against them from embezzling money, you know, things like that. But that's something the attorney, I would hope, is going to be working out with the supervisor. And then again, they will bring that to us. I mean, I stated at the last meeting, which I don't think you were there at, we've been wanting to do this, the attorney finally got us this draft. I would like to see the 5-person board, at least to the point where they accept applications, done by January 1st. We're starting a new year, that's when this should all be done. So if we agree with this draft and we have a chance to ask our attorney any questions, there's no reason we shouldn't pass this ordinance at our December meeting. So, I mean, we're moving ahead with it.
All right, anything else?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right, any other citizens wishing to address the board? Carl?
I just have a question.
Okay.
All
Well,
five,
I don't know if we'll answer it, but go ahead.
okay, all 5 members of the board will require a background check?
That's not in the ordinance, but I would like to see that. That's what we're thinking.
Okay.
Why are you changing that?
I'm sorry.
His name.
Oh, please, sir, please give me your name for the record.
I'm sorry, Johnson, George Johnson.
George Johnson. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody, any other citizens wishing to address the board? Yes. Please come up, state your name so we can hear you.
Good evening. My name is Carl Beveridge. I live at 17551 West Oak Avenue, Bluffport, Illinois. I am a resident of Bluffport Township. You are chairing the meeting tonight, is that correct? And you are an elected official, are you
Yes.
not? How many of you are elected officials and how many of you sit on the board?
All of us are elected officials.
Then on what basis, by what authority are you conducting these meetings?
On the
It's
authority,
prohibited by statute that an elected official cannot sit on the water board.
Carl. Okay. All right, I'll explain it one more time. Back in 1973, 74, there was an ordinance put in place in this township stating that the water district is the same officers as the township board. That's the only ordinance that's been in place. We've been going through all the records, trying to find out if that ordinance has ever been changed. We have not found one. So until we find one, or we write a new ordinance, we're bound by law to run this water board.
But that ordinance is counter to the statute governing the manner in which the board is to be constituted.
That's really not. I don't believe that's really the truth.
All right,
Truth
could I request this then?
Let me-
Can you present a copy of that ordinance that established that elected
I don't
officials?
have it here. No, I do not.
How are you in charge of
Look, I have a concern because several times tonight I've heard you do not have this information here, yet you are representing yourselves as the board, all right? There's financial information, the bills that were agreed to tonight to be paid. What are those bills? How much is being paid? All right, where is that money coming from? Who is it going to? And a question was asked earlier about the Fairmont being levied for the legal bills associated with the case that was levied against the township. How can you hold Fairmont responsible alone for something that the township was responsible in dragging out for 17 years? That seems an impossible burden to place upon a small constituency within Lockport Township.
I appreciate your comment.
You guys are operating in counter to the statute. You don't have the legal authority to reside on the board. Now, you may have an ordinance from 1990, you claim, all right? We have no evidence of that, and in any case, that ordinance is not valid.
That's why
It's
we're
overridden by statute, which you read a while ago, that prohibits you from sitting on the board.
forward and.
Carl, that's why-
How many members are there actually of the board in
The
existence?
trustees make up
Five
the
member
board.
A five-member board.
Carl, just so you know, and I don't know if you've been keeping up with what's been going on though, myself and the other trustee who wasn't here, Greg, we resigned from this water board for the same reason you are stating. No, we should not be here. But when I spoke to the supervisor and he says that he's willing to go forward and make an ordinance so we are not sitting on it, I said I would come back as my duties as a trustee, as an elected official. But I said I also want this done by January 1st. I'm sitting here basically to represent the people, okay?
All right.
And my voice is for the people, okay? He is moving forward. We are all moving forward. We're doing what they were asking. So that's why I'm here.
All right, so steps are in progress to reconstitute the board in accordance with state statute.
Yes.
Would
That's the
that be
ordinance
correct?
that we're trying to.
That's why he's working, and believe me, I'm very upset that our attorney is not here.
All right.
So am I.
I mean,
Yes.
he should have been here, because this is very important,
And the
obviously.
citizens of the township, and particularly of Fairmont,
Right.
which seems to be at issue here,
Right.
will have a say in
I mean,
how
I've
that
never
ordinance
seen
is
this many
constructed.
people show up at a
This board
meeting.
has the authority on the.
You have the authority to pass the ordinance, okay, but
Correct.
you have an obligation to seek public input
Correct.
concerning that ordinance.
And I think the question was asked before by Delinda, basically, who does the bylaws. The utility board may establish bylaws, rules, and regulation of its own government. So yes, you will be creating your own bylaws.
Thank
But
you.
under our authority, you have to present it to us,
Yes, we approve.
just so you understand that. But you
Until such
will.
time as the elected officials are removed from the board and a new board exists, that board then would be the appropriate entity to create those.
Correct. That's what this
Rules of
this
operation.
ordinance is a good ordinance, like I says. You
The only
should have
thing I
been here.
don't
Is that
see in
is
the
that the
ordinance,
1990 ordinance, or what is the date of that ordinance?
This is
they have a
Yeah,
date,
this
it's
is-
not approved
Yeah,
yet.
it's not approved yet.
So it's a
and
draft ordinance.
It's a
Correct.
draft ordinance.
And when will that be presented to the citizens for
It becomes a
review?
real ordinance.
I would hope at our
You mean-
December meeting, we should, our December water board meeting, we should be able to approve it. Then it'll be made, this is just a draft, we're just discussing this.
Well, but you'll have public input before it's approved, correct?
Just as citizens wishing to address the board.
Well, how will they know what's in that before that meeting takes place?
Carl,
I'm not trying to be difficult here, I'm looking at process, Ron. and
well,
I
okay,
know it's putting you on the hot seat.
this is not gonna become a question answer drill the board. You have your time, make your statement, and we appreciate your time in here. I can't answer
There's
questions
also-
I don't have answers to.
Then I strongly recommend that you make that
Well, there's also-
resolution
there's also been,
available to the public 30 days in advance of when you intend to vote on it.
I don't believe that's legal. I don't know, I may be wrong.
If we do it 30 days before, right, we're not gonna be able to approve it till January, then we're prolonging it. I mean, I understand you want to
I don't-
see.
You got yourselves in trouble in the first place in 1990.
We did
okay?
not.
We did.
Carl,
The township did.
Township.
All right, I will rephrase
and
that.
actually, we are not in, breaking the law here. We really aren't.
How do we know that?
From my attorneys that told me that we really are not. I've got to believe my attorney, right? Who do I believe, the person on the street or my
The public
attorney?
doesn't have to believe your attorney.
Well, I've got to take the advice of the attorneys. And the attorney told me that we are not in any violation with this board running the water board.
Here's the state statute, it was presented to everyone just
It's a different
while
type
ago.
of utility board though, Carl. It's what you're talking about, a utility board like what was in Bonnie Bray area. It wasn't, it was an appointed water board. The water system was put in by a contractor who built the water system. And they had to put in a water board to run it. It could not be elected officials. Now the water system in the city of Lockport is run by the city of Lockport, who are officials, elected officials. Just like the water board here, which is owned by the township, is run by the township.
That means that you gotta pay on the water bill too, right?
Now, we are trying to make it even better because everybody's so confused with it. We are going to appoint another board. And we are too. And I've had years of this being asked to me, and I said, doggone it, we're gonna stop it, and that's why I'm putting another board together. We don't have to. We could continue running it by law. But I want to have Fairmont represented there. I think this board wants that. That's why we're moving forward at trying to approve a new board. But it's gonna take time. I'm not gonna rush into this and just willy-nilly start signing papers saying,
I
yes,
concur with that.
this guy's on it and that guy's on
And
it.
that's why I recommend public input into the process to ensure
And we're asking,
that
and I'm
you've got
gonna
the
have
consent
people,
of the people in doing
I'm
this.
gonna ask for resumes, I'm going to ask Fairmont community to be involved in this. I don't know why you believe I'm not going to listen.
Because so
But
many
the fact of the
questions-
matter is, it comes down to this board that
because
has
so
to
many
make the
questions
decision.
have gone unanswered this evening. All right, and it does not.
I don't
build
have the
confidence.
ordinance with me. I didn't know I was going to be asked. I don't bring the whole library down here. We've got paperwork that's boxes and boxes of paperwork.
Well, I'm not interested in trying to have a fight with you or anything like that. I would like to endorse the statement that Esmeralda made a short time ago about reconsidering, all right, the manner in which
And I appreciate that.
that
That
legal
is a decision.
settlement is going to be paid for, because I think it is an outrageous burden to place that on a small segment of the township population. That lawsuit was dragged out over almost 2 decades, all right, before a settlement was reached. The township played an active role in making that happen. And how you could possibly consider Fairmont as the sole entity to be obligated for that cost, to me, seems outrageous.
I appreciate your opinion.
So
Thank
I
you.
endorse his recommendation that the board, however constituted, strongly reconsider.
I want to cut to the
Its
cut to the
actions.
chase, okay? Because we
All right, and in consideration of that, because you have collected apparently some monies from the water board, is that correct? Up to this point, approximately 2 months worth? That those funds be reimbursed until such time as you determine how you're going to be proceeding with the collection of monies, or how you're going to pay for the lawsuit. And by the way, is the $525,000 the total sum involved, or are there court costs involved as well that are going to be added to that?
I don't have the figures right in hand. It was 625. The first 100,000 came off of funds that we had in the water board. The other 525,000 was borrowed from the township, and now the township is being paid back. That's basically as simple as I can make it.
Well, please do reconsider that. That's an unfair burden to be
I
placed upon.
appreciate your opinion. Thank you.
It's a shared opinion. Thank you.
I'm sure it is. Any other citizens wishing to address this board tonight? Thank you. And I do appreciate all your comments, I really do, but we gotta continue running a water board until we get a new board in place. That's all we're trying to do, is get through this as best we can. Any other comments? You guys wanna make? Okay, moving forward, utility management, that, Larry's not here tonight, 13 construction. Do you have any input tonight?
We had a water main break at 106 Oak a week ago last Sunday, and we dealt with it. What else I can say?
It was a Sunday though, so it had to get fixed right away. So.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Says something here about the interface, touch screen for the lift station.
Oh, that was for the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want to make a comment on there?
No, it just had to be done, and just for the generator to operate properly.
Okay, that's all we have under 13 construction. Old business is the payment of the $5,000 from the water district to the township. I did receive a letter from the bookkeeper, if I can find it. I know I have it here. I saw it earlier. No, it's my recommendations to send a check to the town fund for the amount of $5,000 for the month of November. The check will be written upon the board's approval, so I do need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I got a motion by Barb Delaney. I'm sorry, Barb Boyce.
Barb Delaney will second.
Barb Delaney will second. Can I have a roll call, please?
Steve Marley? Did you want to bring up your,
Oh, I'm sorry, any discussion on that? I'm sorry.
Okay. If, like I said, if some point we, we decide to reconsider paying back that debt, I'm looking over our account, the balances we have for the water. And like I said, there is a system improvement account, and that account has seemed to be, pretty stagnant, with no money going into it for some time. Like I said, if we just waive that, or like I said, I would like to see that 5,000, if it does get waived, to start going into the system improvement. I guess that's something we have to discuss as a board on how we would do that. And I think, the sooner the better. So, I would vote no to pay that back.
Ron Alberico?
Yes.
Barb Boyce?
Yes.
Barb Delaney?
No.
So you're the tied Reynolds?
Right, okay, we'll spend the $5,000 this month. All right.
Just on that note, Chris, I don't know, that 5,000 that was put aside for this month, could that be put in the system improvements, or would that go back into the savings account?
It just won't be taken out anywhere.
Okay.
And should we get this for more discussion, what Dean proposed for
Well, we'd have to put it
December
on the
meeting?
agenda, we can't vote on anything tonight. It's
Oh, no,
not
I
on
mean
the
for
agenda,
December.
obviously. Put it on December if you wanted to, maybe we should have a workshop on it, I don't know. This is the first time it's been brought to my attention that
Yeah,
maybe waiving
well,
it.
like I said, I don't know if, Ron, if you want to contact Greg, see what his opinion is. Obviously, you know what mine is, and talk to them separate. I mean, I don't know if we need a workshop on it. And then I could, just talk.
I don't want to be accused of doing things behind closed doors.
Well, I'm gonna have a workshop.
Everybody's.
If the citizens want to be here, that's fine, we can have a workshop.
All right, well, I'll take that into consideration. Maybe I'll put it on the agenda next month and see where, I'll talk to the attorney, find out what the legal ramifications of forgiving the water system.
Right. Well, obviously, we'd have to talk to them.
Right,
Get that
right.
involved, right.
I'm not gonna, again, waive anything until legal counsel, obviously.
Sure.
Again, I wish my legal counsel was here like they said they were gonna be tonight. Did you already? Okay, good. All right, so we won't pay the $5,000 this month. Okay. Moving on. New business, We have to change the night of the meeting for December. It's always the fourth Thursday of the month, or fourth Monday of the month. The fourth Monday of the month is Christmas. I don't think we want to have a Christmas meeting here on Christmas night. So I'm going to make a motion that we move it to the Monday earlier, December 18th, 2017, at 6:30 at this building.
I'll second your motion.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. The other thing on the agenda is to change the meeting dates for next year, for starting January 2018. We would like to move the meetings from Monday night to Tuesday night. We did that with the town hall meetings. They're going to be the second Tuesday night. We want to make the water board meetings the fourth Tuesday night instead of the fourth Monday night for next year.
You're gonna run into the same thing next year for Christmas.
I understand that, but it's not just Christmas that we're concerned with. What really is the issue here is we sponsor, the township sponsors the cruising night down there in Lockport on Monday nights during the summer, and we have to miss our own party that we've been doing, during the summer months. So we thought, we used to change them to Tuesday nights in the summer, but we just thought, why don't we just change them all to Tuesday nights? Gives us an extra day to go over everything, get the bills set, so I will make that motion to move them to Tuesday night.
Would that be the same time though?
Same time, 6:30.
6:30.
Yeah. That seems to be the attitude of the board. They don't want to go too early.
Yeah.
So it's going to be changed to every fourth Tuesday in 2018?
Fourth Tuesdays, starting in January.
I'll second.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you very much. The chairman's report, I do have the ordinance, the draft ordinance that was put together by our attorneys. I've read through it. I know you guys have read through it. It's pretty basic at this point. The only issue I have with it, and I wanted to talk to the attorney about it tonight, is there's no, I don't see any accounting of the funds. I want to make sure that it's in there that the new board doesn't have complete authority over the funding of the water system if the township board is still held responsible for that money, obviously. I'm not going to give the keys to the car if I don't have any say-so on the board, obviously. So basically, I want to see something in this ordinance stating the fact that it's an advisory type of board that has to report to this board every monthly, at their monthly meeting, to get the bills approved. I can't have a board that can, just say we're going to lower the water bills to everybody to $5 a month, and we can't afford the water. We can't afford and then the township's responsible for those bills. We can't do that. So that's what I'm gonna want to see something there in that reference. Any other comments on it?
Well, I got something, I don't know if I should have brought them, but it's about, like the agenda and such that was brought up to our attention as far as like, I know we do have a township website that people can go to and search for the town agendas and stuff like that. And like I said, it's something that just brought up for discussion. If there's a way to get the water board part of that website where somebody could click on, go to the water board, we could post the agendas on that and stuff like that. I mean, it seems like it should be updated.
We've discussed that. We're in the process right now. Obviously, you guys know that we're redoing our website, and that was one of the main things. Actually, I believe the water board meetings were put on the calendar, aren't they, Chris?
They're put on there as months as we go along.
Okay. Are the minutes on there?
The minutes are not on there because minutes are not approved until the night of the meeting.
The old minutes.
The old minutes are not because if there's nowhere on the website to put them right now?
I want to get those on there when we do improve our website. I want the water board to be on that website just as much as the town board. So that's what we're getting to when we, actually, I believe there are people here talking, I'm not sure if they're talking about the digitalizing the records or the water, or the website. There are some people downstairs in Denise's office talking about that, something today. I'm trying to stay out of the design of the website because I'm not very web intelligent, and I don't go on the websites that often and all that, so I want somebody that's going to put their time and effort into this website and just make sure it's easy to see, all the information's on there, and they can get through it. So, but I do think the water system, the water board needs to be on that website, just in the meetings, and all the information that we could possibly put on it will be put on it, just like the town board.
I have a question about the draft for the ordinance. When you get your question answered by the attorney with your concern that you have that's missing on here, would we be able to get it on the agenda for our December meeting for approval if we are able to see the draft, if you're happy with it?
If we can, I'd like to. But I'll tell you, just like I'm telling everybody, I'm not going to be pushed into this, rushed into this. I will not do that. I don't care. People quit, people do say whatever you have to do what you have to do, but I will say this, I don't really go, but by law, I believe you've been elected to do a job, and part of that job is water at this point in time according to that ordinance, so you can't just quit half your job. So, I guess if you quit it all. I don't know if you, at this point, now let's get this ordinance done. Let's get it right, and I'm not using that as a threat at all. Believe me, I want to get this done as quickly as possible, so I can get this new board to take care of the problems and the issues with the Fairmont people. It's not the Fairmont people, it's our people. We're all in this together. It's not like it's you against us, believe me. I know you don't believe that.
How do you feel together when we're paying a lawsuit and nobody else can pay?
We are trying to work with this, believe me. I've been down in Fairmont more than anywhere else in this township.
But you didn't tell anybody about the lawsuit when you were there.
I cannot talk about a lawsuit that's pending by law.
It's been settled since 2016.
And it was settled, we settled it, and we made our payments in open meetings. Everything we decided was in open meetings that everybody's invited to, they're posted. I mean, we can't make people come to our meetings.
It was never stated anywhere that
It was stated in our agendas, excuse me, let me still have the floor. Carl, I'm gonna run an orderly meeting here. I cannot have the audience interrupting me. Please.
You make provocative statements, Ron.
Please, Carl.
Okay.
Please, let me run the meeting. I can't have a free-for-all here. All right? Again, everything was done in open meetings. Everything was posted that we were going to vote on. That's all we can possibly do. I've been here for 6 years. We've been posting it the same way, and I've been trying to get people to show up for meetings, and out of the 6 years, this is the first 3 months now people have shown up. And I'm glad you're here, and I want to explain to you the way things have happened, but you're real combative, it seems to me. You think we've been doing something wrong all this time, and we've been trying to clear this up. Thank you. Other than that, is there anything else this board has? Okay, I'm going to, if it's all right with the board, it's up to you guys. There is a gentleman here I saw that was at our town meeting that wanted to talk. You weren't here when we had citizens wishing to address the board?
No, it was not.
You were late?
Sorry, I was late.
Do you guys mind if he steps up now?
No.
All right.
My
Sir,
question-
can you come up and please give me your name for the record?
My name is Nick Mara, 420 Connor Avenue. These are just 3 of the water filters that I filter out for the water that comes from the city or from the township. What's the board going to do about this? This is 15 days. I also have in my pocket a little water sample. You can please pass that around.
That's what I'm drinking.
That comes right out of the main. I just want to know what the township's going to do about it.
Right, did you test it?
Bacteria at the bottom eats away at, it's part of the iron. It's iron-eating bacteria. Yes, I have. I have a friend that's a scientist that tested it for me.
Well, let me tell you, the only thing I think I can say is that, you know, I was unaware of this. We don't run the day-to-day operation of the water system. We don't have the license. We do our testing every week.
Is that testing material, that data available?
I believe it is. It's online.
I'll look for it.
Go to, not on our website, you go to EPA, Illinois EPA, go down to Lockport Township Water Utility, and all the data should be on there. I mean, we test it every week. Testing's been coming good. So, you know,
That's water right out. That's water right out of the tap. Before my filters.
but obviously, we don't do the testing ourselves. We just run the financial end of it. And we have a board that, or a company that does that for us, because we're not licensed to.
Is this the same company that goes back to 2016 with this lawsuit?
No.
No?
What's your address?
420.
420 Connor?
Yep.
How far west of Lawrence are you? Can't be much, a couple doors?
700 feet, 800 feet?
Okay, couple
Not
doors.
very,
yeah.
not very far.
We need to get Larry involved when he
Yeah.
gets back.
Larry's the operator. Chris runs the day-to-day operation of the wells and, not the testing. Well, you do the testing too, don't you?
Yeah,
You-
yeah,
you
we
the
do,
testing,
I'm in charge of the maintenance,
the
but
maintenance of it, yeah,
it's the water, to clarify, the water's tested every day,
every day.
No,
every day of the year. So if there's something, I mean,
the
that's,
system's not doing well if
well,
that's coming in.
you know, again, Larry's not passing the buck, but he is the licensed water operator, so this is a,
And I'll tell you
and
more.
the hydrants were,
Keep that and test it.
yeah.
You see what you come
Well, the
up
hydrant, no, I'm glad you brought it in. The hydrants have been flushed this year, so I don't
with.
know.
Yeah, no, they have not.
Yes, they have. I did them myself.
I got a hydrant in front of my house. I have a video camera that faces the front of my house.
We don't-
There is no one that has cracked that hydrant.
And we don't flush every single hydrant. I mean, there's certain hydrants we can't, but the hydrants were flushed this year. I did them personally.
I'll look at the hydrants.
I'm not
I'll
saying
look at
that-
the hydrants on my block and see if any of that red
Well,
paint has been
you
cracked.
can look at anything you want, because I did them personally. So I'm not saying I hired
Well,
somebody.
what address did you do O'Connor's in? Did you do anyone on O'Connor's?
Oh, yeah. Probably 90% of them. Ma'am, I can tell you, I did them myself on my father's grave, so I'm not lying. I got no reason to lie. I mean, I'm telling you. And I'm not saying we do every single hydrant, but some we do, some we don't. And depends on the situation too.
So now you gotta check that one because of what's.
No,
result.
this is, we're
You
gonna
wanna
give
keep
this to
this?
Larry. Yeah, I'll
You'll
give this to Larry tomorrow.
All right.
And we'll get back to you. Can I have your, can I get your name and number, and I'll get back to you personally. Can I get, you got a piece of paper?
You have a pad of paper, you can write down his name and address for him?
Give it time.
All right, well, thank you.
Yep.
I'll have Larry look at it, and, you know, like I said, we don't run the day-to-day operation, but, you know, I don't want.
No, but I'm not the only one on the block that gets this. The whole neighborhood gets this.
There's no way we can fix that, we'll do our best.
Okay.
With what we have. Yes.
He stated that the hydrants were flushed this year, but then he stated not all hydrants were flushed. Isn't all hydrants should be flushed?
I don't know.
Because of all the lime, calcium, and rust that's stagnant in all the water that's running?
It's all in the same line, man. So if you go Connor, you go from Lawrence to State, it's all the same line.
Right, but
Push
when
it.
that, the initial pushing up through, it could be stuff still stagnant, sitting up in there, in the valves, that's
No,
there.
there's no
There's
water
no
in the
way.
valves, it's in the main, below the valve. There's property that you can't flood the people right out. Which I'm, looking, all of a sudden it's going towards your houses, so there's property you cannot, open hydrant. But there's, when you flush, if I got that wall in another 100 foot, it's clearing that line,
It's clearing the line,
yes.
but it's not clearing the hydrant
Yes,
itself.
there's no water.
There's no water in the hydrant.
But there's minerals that's still sitting up in the
No,
top of
see
that hydrant.
The way it
No,
works is,
no.
The way they
it's
go
an
out,
empty.
so you're
man.
telling me no minerals will sit?
There's an
No,
empty-
they can, if
it's an
there
empty
was
pipe.
water above there, it'd be freezing. That's
It's an
why
empty
everything's
pipe.
5 foot deep.
Right, it's an empty pipe, but what I'm saying is when you use a pipe, and the way the hydrant is set up, it goes straight up, and then the valve goes straight out this way. In this little 2 to 3 inches that's open there, minerals settle. Those minerals that settle, are they still sitting there? Are you telling me that there's no way?
There's nothing there.
But-
I'll come down and open the hydrant for you tomorrow if you want.
I'm at 203 Fairmont Avenue.
Give me your name and number and address, and I'll call you tomorrow morning.
Okay,
I'll open one up and show you. There's nothing there.
because I mean, I'm just wondering.
I know what you're saying.
No, hey,
A
that's fine.
hydrant,
The pipe, there's a valve 5 feet underground, and when the fire department comes, they open that thing up, that opens that valve 5 foot underground. Otherwise, that water would freeze in that line.
I'll be more than happy to meet you tomorrow and open one up for you.
So that's just basically an empty pipe going from 5 feet under the ground from the main up to the street level. And if there's a little residue at the top, when a fire happens, that little residue isn't gonna stop putting out a fire. You're not supposed to be drinking that water coming out of there anyway. Coming out of 150 pounds?
No, I'm not quite there.
It's around 150 pounds, I think.
I'll take the word for that.
I have a hydrant,
Yeah, when they,
static water pressure, whatever's coming in the house, whatever's coming out of the hydrant.
well, I don't know, when I see firemen turn on, put the line and they turn it on. Well, anyway, I'm not gonna debate that with you. I'm not gonna debate it with you. It's just that little residue at the top in the hydrant isn't going to affect putting out the fire. And that's what that's valve is for. All right, I want to thank everybody for taking time out of their evening tonight, and I appreciate being here tonight. I would call for an adjournment. Okay, motion by Barb Boyce, second by Barb Delaney. All in favor? Please. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you.
Yeah, we